can't speak for other business schools, but I know that here it's very clear that it's an open door policy, that if you have a question you can ask them, and if you're international you're welcome, and if you're seeking advice there's no reason not to ask. And generally I felt very welcome and just encountered a lot of passionate people that love what they do.
I found that every professor was more than willing to meet up in office hours, talk to you, and really sort of help you to understand understand the material at an intuitive level, and then beyond the material, very willing to help you sort of develop your career and your next steps after college.
Being a business student, I spend most of my time in the business school, and with it being a new building and having food and having all of these areas where you can do work or you can communicate with people, I think that being in this atmosphere is something that I'm going to miss.
I think we focus so much on the soft skills, such as through Q Camp and different networking events, where it seems from a lot of the great schools that I've seen other students from, they focus a lot more on the technical skills, but I think we have a great mix of both, which makes us extremely competitive.
My finance professor this semester, Dr. Conover, gets emails from his past students all the time saying, we have a job opening in my company, if you could pass this along to your students, or there's an internship opportunity, pass this along to a student you might think is interested. I think that really differentiates us.
My favorite memory was probably going to Q Camp. I did it as a sophomore, and it was the first year they did it. And there was only 50 kids who went, and it was just an awesome experience. We learned how to network, we learned how to eat at dinner settings, in professional settings. So that was probably my favorite event.
Dr. North sent me to a stock pitch competition at the University of Michigan, where I was able to compete against top business schools around the nation, pitching a stock, and there were top Wall Street investment bankers there to analyze how well we did, and we did very well, so that was a great experience.
Finance Lab has been very beneficial to my education here. I've had a few projects, especially my senior year, where I've logged maybe 8 to 10 hours a week in the Finance Lab, just kind of doing workbooks, spreadsheets, analysis, and I think I learned a lot throughout that process.
My favorite class was Professor Hoyle's 302 class. It was the hardest class that I've ever taken. It's probably the hardest class that I'll ever take going forward. But he called on your ability to think analytically in a major and in a class, and in a subject matter that a lot of people kind of associate with being vanilla and being straightforward.
Professor Hoyle's intermediate accounting class was great. He really pushed you even more than I thought I could be pushed to just try really hard, and getting like that A in that class really felt great at the end just because of how hard you had to try.
I really love Joyce Van Der Laan Smith. She taught me in my advanced financial in my intermediate accounting class, and I thought she's the one that told me you should do accounting in my sophomore year.
It was probably my business-to-business marketing class that I took first semester of my senior year, actually, so better late than never, but with Professor Randall Raggio, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but I learned the most from it.
My favorite class was definitely Econ 101, which is not what you would expect. It's actually my worst class, but it challenged me to think outside the box, and I made it my major.
In July, I'm starting with Goldman Sachs as an equity research analyst.
After graduation, I will be working for PricewaterhouseCoopers.
I'm going to New York City to work at Goldman Sachs doing credit research.
I'll be going up to Deutsche Bank in New York City as an investment banking analyst.
I am working for a public accounting firm, McGladryn Pullen, in Boston.
I'm launching a technology incubator for high school students here in Richmond that helps them grow their companies over the course of the summer.
I'm going to be doing Teach for America. I'm going to be teaching in New York City.
After graduation, I'm going to be working for Bain Consulting in Chicago, doing strategy consulting.
I'm going to be working at one of the big 4 accounting firms, PricewaterhouseCoopers, in the Richmond office.
I'll be working in Tysons Corner, Virginia, doing federal consulting with Baker Tilly.
After graduation, I'll be taking a job with United Technologies Corporation in their financial leadership program, and I'll be traveling the world for the next 2 years with different companies that they own to learn more about corporate finance.
been an amazing 4 years, and here's to the next chapter. Good luck, everyone.